Hey guys, welcome back to the Great One channel, and today I'm going to be ranking all 6 Star Wars movies that I have seen from worst to best. This picture I'm showing right now is all 6 of the Star Wars movies that I have seen. They'll be including The Phantom Menace, Rogue One, A New Hope, The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker. So I'm going to let you analyze that for a second, just to see how many Star Wars movies I'm going to be ranking, the Star Wars movies I will be ranking, and just let you analyze that for a second, alright? I'll just give you a few seconds. Alright, you should be good now. Anyways, let's just get started with this ranking video, going on to number 6. Coming out to number 6 is Star Wars The Phantom Menace. Now, okay, not a bad start. So why is The Phantom Menace my least favorite Star Wars movies that I have seen? Well, it's been a really long time since I've seen this movie. Like, I've only seen it once, and I remember first watching it, and I was so bored. I was so bored watching this movie. I was so, like, uninterested with the characters and shit. Everything. Literally everything. I was just so uninterested. I was like, I'm going to try to watch all the prequel movies and just try to watch all Star Wars movies, and then I got bored of this movie, and I could not be bothered watching every single other one that comes out after this one. So, I really apologize, but I just couldn't do it. This movie just was so boring, and I just did not find myself enjoying it at all. So, that's basically my reason. Boring, uninteresting characters, and I just did not like it. And I'm probably never going to watch it ever again. Unless I really have to. If I'm forced to watch it or anything, I will. But either way, if I don't, then I'll probably never watch it again. That's how boring it is. But yeah, that's really it. Let's just move on to number 5. Coming out to number 5 is Star Wars A New Hope. Yes, I know, I'm really sorry guys, just don't take this seriously. Like, I am not a Star Wars fan, I don't even consider myself a Star Wars fan. It's been a really long time since I've seen this movie. I've really only seen the full movie once. So, there you go. I've only seen this movie once. If I rewatch it, maybe I'll like it a little bit more than I do now. But either way, I didn't really find this movie that interesting, probably because I'm just not a Star Wars fan. I'm really just not a Star Wars fan. I wasn't really into this movie, probably because Star Wars is not my thing. But first time watching this movie, it was a while ago. I don't know. I don't remember if I really enjoyed it that much. But either way, that's just. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm really sorry. I can already see the freaking comments. Oh no. I don't know, it's just not that interesting. This is coming from someone who's not really even considered a Star Wars fan, so let's just move on to number 4. Coming out to number 4 is Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. Now, this one I'm a little bit nervous about as well, because, well, some people say that this movie is, like, better than the Star Wars movie, better than the sequel trilogy that we're getting now, which now I'm a bit nervous about, but hopefully you guys won't get too angry about this one being here on the list. But yeah, guys, first time I saw Rogue One: A Star Wars Story, it was in theaters, and I remember the first time I watched it, I loved it, because it was 2016, I was young, and it was at the movie theater. It was a pretty fun experience, because it was at the movie theater, of course, so of course I was going to love it. So, yeah, I loved it first time watching it, and rethinking about it, and I did actually rewatch it, and I didn't really have as much fun as I did in the movie theater, and there were actually some moments in the movie theater where I actually was yawning, like my mum was with, and she was yawning as well. We were kind of bored, so yeah, and then rewatching it, it was a lot worse. The experience was a lot worse, like, it was a lot boring and shit, like, I was really not into it, so there you go. I mean, it's not as interesting. I will say, one great thing about this movie is, I guess, the ending. I did love the ending. I think the ending was really pretty good. I mean, it had some pretty cool stuff. Like, I mean, okay, well, I guess spoilers for... Actually, no spoilers. I'll just say that. The ending is really good. I think there's a lot of crazy stuff happens at the end. Like, more interesting crazy stuff happens at the end than whatever happens in the first half of the movie. I'll say that. But either way, this movie's kind of boring, very forgettable. The characters are forgettable, and overall, I don't think I'll really feel like watching this movie again. Or maybe I will. Who knows? We'll just have to see. Anyways, let's just move on to number 3. Coming to number 3 is Star Wars The Last Jedi. Oh yes, guys. Star Wars The Last Jedi. Better than all the other movies that came before this on the list. Oh yes, I am so sorry, guys. I know this is like one of the most hated... I think it is the most hated Star Wars movie out of all Star Wars movies. I don't know. I think it's The Rise of Skywalker. I don't know. But it seems that this was the most hated one. So I really, really apologize, guys. But why do I find this better than Rogue One? Well, I guess it still had some at least this movie had some pretty interesting stuff happening, especially with the stuff going on between Luke and Rey. Some of the stuff with that was kind of interesting. I'll say that, but Kylo Ren was pretty interesting. Stuff about him was pretty interesting, I guess. Either way, everything else mainly was kind of just boring and whatever. And still, some scenes were not fun. There was still a lot of boring moments, and still, I don't know, like, the whole Rose and Finn adventure was so boring. That was probably the most boringest part about this movie. And, I mean, this movie is just... it's kind of just a whatever. It's whatever. It's whatever movie. I don't know if I'll ever watch it again. Maybe I will. Maybe I will at some point. But I don't know. This movie's kind of just whatever. At least it has some pretty interesting moments, unlike Rogue One, which is just complete boringness. But either way, guys, I guess that's really it with this movie. Let's just move on to number 2. Coming on to number 2 is Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. Now, yes, I do think this movie is slightly better than The Last Jedi, mainly because it's probably just directed by J.J. Abrams, and it's got that enjoyable feel to it. It's got some of that enjoyable feels to it, like kind of like The Force Awakens. But either way, this film still feels really boring at a lot of moments, and it didn't even feel as fun as The Force Awakens. And overall, I guess J.J. Abrams didn't really know how to conclude this saga, so he did all he could really do, and it's just kind of whatever. I do think it's slightly better than The Last Jedi, but overall, it's kind of just, it's okay, I guess. You can, whatever. It's whatever. Anyways, let's just move on to number 1. Very unsurprisingly, coming out to number 1 is Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Now, honestly, I actually really like this movie. Out of all Star Wars movies, most of them I just find really boring. Most of them I find really just okay and whatever. This one I actually find really good. I actually found this one really enjoyable. Like, it was very rare when it was boring. I don't think there were really much boring moments. This film was always enjoyable. The characters were actually interesting. And this film was actually a Star Wars movie that I really liked. And I could rewatch it, like, a lot, like, over and over and over. This was a Star Wars movie that I actually enjoyed. So that's why it's coming up to number 1. I'm sorry if you're mad that this is coming up to number 1, but I'm sorry. I actually just had a good time with this movie. I'm not even really considered a Star Wars fan, so whatever. Overall, The Force Awakens I consider to be the best Star Wars movie that I have seen. Out of all 6 of them, just the best one that I have seen. Alrighty guys, this is going to be the end of the Star Wars ranking video, I guess. Thank you guys so much for watching. Now, I'm really not looking forward to uploading this ranking video because I know it's going to get hated. The comments are probably going to go crazy. There's probably not going to be a lot of comments, so I'm not a big YouTuber, but I'm still pretty nervous. I'm still pretty nervous on how you guys are going to feel. Just remember, I am not a complete Star Wars fan. Honestly, I'm not even really a Star Wars fan at all. I'm not into Star Wars anymore after I watched The Rise of Skywalker. I'm practically done at this point. I just thought I'd just make this ranking video since I'm probably not going to watch any more Star Wars movies unless I actually feel like I should. But either way, that's just my ranking video. I'm sorry that it was very different compared to others, and you're probably going to be very mad, but I'm not a Star Wars fan, and I haven't even ranked all the Star Wars movies, so it could have gone out a lot better if I just watched all of them, but I haven't, so don't get mad, okay? I'm sorry, okay? I'm just sorry. Just please don't get mad. Just please understand, okay? And opinions, they do exist, okay? So, I'm sorry. Alright, let's just end this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye. And if you guys get mad at me just because of my list, like I'm doing right now, I'm gonna throw you. Ah!